Welcome back to the New Wave Therapy Podcast, hosted by Bob Burdekin. Today's episode in the series The Best Kept Secrets in Supplements is number 23, and today we will be joined by a very special guest. The information contained within this podcast, website, articles, images, videos, and the resources available for download through this website is not intended as, and shall not be understood or construed as, medical or health advice. While New Wave Therapy and Country Doctor Nutritional Center address health issues and the information provided through this medium relates to medical and/or health issues, the information provided through these means is not a substitute for medical or health advice from a medical professional who is aware of the facts and circumstances of your individual situation. The information that is provided, as well as the resources and downloads, are for educational and informational purposes.
Well, hello again. Welcome back to the New Wave Therapy Podcast. Bob Burdekin here. I'm your host. And we have covered so many different subjects that center around health and a balanced lifestyle, but we realized that we had not had anyone on that could show you any of the additional areas within that healthy lifestyle. Well, today we're going to change all of it and include a special guest. His name is Robert Burdekin. Now, he is a fitness instructor who believes that being a fitness instructor is much more. In fact, he wants you to realize that he will be your dedicated health coach as well. Now, he is known to cater to people that are at all different levels of exercising. And knowing that, he's constantly centered on the ability to find the right approach for each individual, while at the same time, he helps to keep you motivated and focused on your own personal fitness journey. Now, as we go along today, Dan and I will be talking to Rob, sort of digging in and getting into the root of Rob's beliefs and his methods. So sit back, grab that protein drink, and enjoy the show. One last thing. Thanks for coming by, and I know you're going to enjoy this episode. See you again. All right. So anyway, this week is a little different. Last week, we ended at Dan saying it's going to be a special surprise week. And The surprise is Robert Burdekin. Robert is starting kind of a similar business to what we're in. He's in the health industry. You know, it'd probably better let him tell you, first of all, how he got to the point he's at and where he's going with it. Why don't you go ahead, Rob? Let us know what's going on.
So my journey started probably about 10 years ago when I was not excessively overweight, but right around an uncomfortable overweight. Okay. So with that, did some blood work, and I just got sick and tired of the doctor keep telling me, you need cholesterol medicine, you need drop all of this, you need to eat better, you need to do all of this. I did the cholesterol medicine for about 30 days and just didn't like the way it felt. So I took it upon myself to find some other solutions. I did take some natural medication, stuff that you can actually get at the natural food stores. And it was just getting to be, that was costing just as much as the regular over-the-counter prescription medication. So I looked at other avenues, and I started off by changing my diet. I went from the standard American diet down to tried gluten-free, and didn't like that so much, only because it's not what it is today. It was, if you tried to eat the bread, you had to drink a gallon of water to go with it because it was so dry and brittle. Every time you ate a sandwich, it just fell apart in your hand. So I went on to looking at other avenues, and I actually read an article about Tim McGraw and how he went CrossFit and did the paleo and kind of did all of that. After a while, I lost, in about a 4-month period, once I started doing paleo and very minor exercise. In a 4-month period of time, I lost about 40 pounds. So got back into running, even though I have a lateral tear in my knee, just took it slow, built up the muscles around it to help support it. Never did get it fixed. Still have that lateral tear. Started getting into long distance running, and not your average long distance running, more of trails and ultra running. So an average run for me on the weekends was anywhere from 6 to 15 miles up in the mountains of Northern California. So if you know any of that terrain, it was pretty extensive. And one race I did, you climbed about 1,300 feet in about 2 miles. So some river crossings and everything else too. Started burning way too many calories, getting way too light, and I had to go for another version of a diet to help build up the calories and keep the body weight on so I wasn't getting too thin. So I did a version of paleo keto. So just kept it more natural, stay away from a lot of grains. There are some grains that I can eat that won't disrupt my internal systems, should I say. And it's more of the ancient type grains. So from there, I started getting a lot of traction with people asking me what I was doing, how I was doing it. So started doing some coaching and training off to the side a little bit without any type of certifications. Started seeing some progress. So during COVID is when I took it really serious, and I got quite a few certifications during COVID in this last year. So I am, if you guys don't know what TRX is a bodyweight suspension system. I'm actually certified training coach with TRX. I went to the University of Colorado, and I am certified for their science of exercise. So to become an MBA in fitness at the Colorado University, you actually have to attend that class to get into the MBA program for fitness. And then I also went to Stanford and got my nutritional certification. So not certified in the state of California. So I took the nutritional certification just to get a better understanding of foods and how it works in your system. And then this last year, spent some time and what they call, I got my master's in certification. So not only did I redo nutrition, I am now strength and conditioning. So I am a strength and conditioning coach. So what does a strength and conditioning coach do over a personal trainer? We can help you still lose the weight and everything, but we can do it in a way so you will not get injuries. So a strength and conditioning coach is a person that is on any major athletic team. So if there's an injury with an athlete, they can actually go through their physical therapy and then go to the strength and conditioning coach. So a strength and conditioning coach will also work with physical therapists and get the athlete back up into condition where they can actually perform as they should on the field.
So Rob, I know you've actually run even a 50K. Okay.
Yes, I have done.
And that was a cross country too.
Yep.
And it's a situation that, what are you going to do now that you've got all of this training and all of this certifications? Have you set up a website? Are you working with people online as well, or just people, in person? Well, how are you handling this?
So I do have a website. It's travelfitnesswellness.com.
Okay.
So all of my social medias are travel, fitness, wellness on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me personally on Facebook, but you can also find my actual Facebook page as Travel, Fitness, Wellness. I do both online and in-person coaching. We can do virtual meetings. I do group settings, both in person and virtually. My schedule kind of works around the client schedule because coming out of the corporate industry, I understand that, completely understand about time restraints and making sure that you take care of yourself. So the last 5 years of working in the corporate industry, I made it a point of taking care of myself. And I actually was better productive in that. And I got a lot more work done. And I hate to say it, but I did a lot more stretch assignments that I shouldn't have. And I was able to complete those stretch assignments plus my regular tasks that I was assigned on a daily basis.
Well, it's just you were really willing to make yourself known. And, you did a good job. Obviously, you're going to do a good job with the people that you work with in the strength and conditioning areas and things like that. So have you got any type of program laid out? Are you going to have programs where people can buy programs or be involved in programs with you or what?
So I am laying out several different pre-built programs, 14-day programs, 7-day programs, along with a suggested meal plan. It's, like I said, it's just a suggestion. It gives you some ideas of how to eat if you're looking to lose weight. Some of the programs I've built out so for the dad vods out there, if you want to get a little bit more toned and ripped for your woman, then that's something you can do. I also have a mommy makeover. If you're looking specifically for certain areas, if you want to develop your abs, get that V shape, because I know a lot of people love this look at that V shape. If you're looking to build out your arms, your legs, whatever it might be, I'm building out individual programs for that. And then I will do a custom assessment and do custom workouts based off of goals and objectives that you want to lay out.
Well, Dan, I think you can see that having someone like this available, even for us, that it's something that we could actually work with, I think. As we get people more, of course, we get people in a little different situation than where Rob would start with them. But we get them to a certain point. And a lot of these people, I've heard they want to even start working out, things like that. I think that they should really be guided to someone like Rob. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. There's, with the recent events the last few years, the virtual accessibility to someone like, you, Robert, what you're providing people, a built out. I like your 7-14 day. I like that, that you can kind of just bring it on in pieces to people, doesn't overwhelm them. It's not a 6 month or a year commitment up front, that kind of thing. You mentioned customizing, your evaluation to meet the needs of the individual. And so I think there's a tremendous amount of value in what you're offering. I know that you've got the background. And I think what's most exciting for me is that when you first started sharing how you came about becoming a strength and conditioning coach and all the certifications that led up to that, was that you have a personal story. I mean, you're personally invested, right? I was watching a guy the other day that, he's a coach and wasn't connecting with his clients. So he purposely gained 80 pounds so then he could himself figure out what these people are going through emotionally and mentally and the setbacks, right? The mindset it takes. And then he turned around and he lost that 80 pounds. And then it just made a huge difference with his ability to connect with the people that he's trying to help and serve and position to thrive. And you've got that. You've already got that story in place. You know what took for you, the changes you had to make, the new disciplines, the mindset, the choices, as far as, the two most important resource tools we have is a fork and a spoon. And you had to come to terms with what's at the end of those for yourself, and lose that 40 pounds. And people saw that and they saw, wait, he's going a little too far the other way now. Okay, now I can put some back on. And so you've got a unique personal experience that is powerful, that when shared with the masses, I think it's going to go really well for him. I'm excited for what this means for you in the future. And I know that, with some additional, maybe you can do an Instagram page where you document your journey for a week or 10 days or 30 days or whatever. So people can really see, and kind of get a feel for, hey, this is exactly what he's doing. He's not telling us what we should do. I mean, these are the things that he's actually doing. This is his lifestyle. It's not a business, it's a lifestyle. And oh, by the way, you can help people achieve that lifestyle as well. So it's very dynamic. It's certainly timely. And, one of the things too is that it's easily accessible. By chance, on an average, what is your coaching fee? Or when you're coaching somebody with strength and conditioning, what is like a typical fee with, say, the dad bod that wants to become a father figure instead of a dad bod, right? And for 90 days, I mean, and they're going to use your coaching virtually. Kind of give our listeners, the viewers, an idea of what that looks like, what that might lay out for them.
So my 14-day dad bod program, my 14-day mommy makeover are pre-built programs, and they're downloadable in PDF. So what's great about my PDFs is it's accessible on your computer, phone, or tablet. And what I mean by that is, even though it's in PDF form, you can actually go in there and edit your PDFs. So you can actually log all of your information in on that PDF and as a tracker. So you can do it, save it on your file, on your phone, wherever you want to do it, cloud space, and then just access it, right? And those are $14.95.
Not bad. Yep. That's a good price.
Yep.
Yep. So, but anyway, yeah, I can see the story you tell, Rob, is the most important thing you can do right now. That's got to be on your website somewhere. Your story has to be there that the people can read it and really look at it.
Before and after pictures. That would be
that would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that people more than ever now relate to stories.
Yeah.
The top sites are all story oriented. The top businesses, even business to business sales, are all story oriented, how they helped another business increase their business. And this is how you're going to increase your business. You're working on a one-on-one basis to consumer. How are you going to help them? This is how I help myself. This is how I've helped other people. That's the thing that's really, really going to promote you and push you forward. So,
yeah. You mentioned something too, that Robert, that I like, because you come from the corporate world. You see where that, the challenges faced by the executives in large organizations. And, there was a time in the past, and I don't know, you probably know better than I, when corporate wellness programs were part of the employee enhancement, portions through HR. And the problem was they weren't done well.
Right.
They would come in and they would sign this company up. It's got 5,000 employees, and they throw it out there, and 10% took advantage of it. And they gave that 10% a little break on their insurance if they would, embark on this. So they would do it. And it really consisted of a phone call a week. How you doing? And it really, I think there was certainly some benefit from it, maybe from the standpoint of those people are now more aware. Maybe they're making better decisions. Maybe some of that helped. But with what you've got, I think is really a corporate wellness program potentially, but on steroids, right? It's getting backed by your built out programs that people can plug into. And, you get a company, that has 1,000 employees that they can get that at a discount and they give their employees a little break on insurance or whatever. There's some real possibilities there for you, I think.
Yeah. So every single corporate wellness program that I was a part of through the corporate world, to me, wasn't very good because all they really wanted you to do was just check boxes.
Yep.
And if you just check the boxes, you got your points for it. Did you eat your greens? Yes. Okay. But did you work out? Yes. Like I said, you're just checking boxes on these websites, right? That they out to you and they're shared with you. We can actually take that a step further with that corporate wellness and even do check-ins. So there was one time where I did a weekly phone call and a check-in only because I asked for it. If you don't ask for that, you will not get it. And I want to say probably in the last 9 years, they haven't even really offered for those phone calls. With a wellness coach or a nutrition coach or something like that. Most of the corporate world now, since we've gone virtual, in my eyes, have left it up to the individual to look for resources themselves without really having those resources available.
They wouldn't like us, Dan. We'd be saying, "Where's your food logs?"
Right. Yeah. Where's the food logs?
Yeah.
So
That's true. Yeah. They've really lost touch with that, unfortunately. I think that whoever came up with that initially, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, the corporate wellness program, kind of the buzz word. I think that it got lost in the dynamic of acceptance. It got lost in the allure of insurance money and, saving the company. It became more about saving the company an insurance premium for 1,000 people. And the insurance company negotiated a deal where they cut their premium by 5%. 5%, 1,000 people on a policy on a monthly, that's a lot of money to the company. But yet the real potential value, I think, got lost in the shuffle, is what it sounds like to me, Robert.
Yeah. So the real value is actually in the employees. It's because if you actually have a healthy employee, so I want to say in the last 12 years in the corporate industry, I hadn't called in sick because I ate right. I took care of myself, make sure I got the right amount of sleep. I exercised on a regular basis. Did I always spend an hour in the gym? No. Did I at least do 25 to 30 minutes in the gym? Yes. And some of my workouts that I have developed is no more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I got one program right now. If you are a runner and you're looking to increase your running speed, so it doesn't matter if you're football, soccer, baseball, or even just a marathon runner or a 5K or a 10K, if you want to drop your per mile speed down, I got that workout for you. And it's a 30-minute workout.
Wow.
So I tested it. I proved it. I did it over 6 months, and about once a month, I was dropping time.
Again, Rob, every program you've done, and you can document with your story and pictures and everything like that. Every one of your programs needs that kind of information.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. So when it comes to, you got your strength side, your conditioning side, you've got your nutritional side. Are you going to be catering to any specific like supplement lines that you're thinking about that you personally like or have worked with, or what are your thoughts on supplementation?
Supplementation for me is I don't really do a lot of supplements. The only supplements I really do is a collagen powder and some BCAAs. And when I talk like BCAAs, I look for something that has 0 sugars. So the one I'm actually using right now, and it sounds absolutely hilarious. It's called Ghost. Wait, it gets even better than that because you're going to think there's going to be a ton of sugar in it, but it's the Sour Patch line.
Wow.
So it literally tastes like Sour Patch Kids. They're like blue raspberry, red raspberry, and then they got the watermelon that's like sour warheads or something like that. And it literally tastes like it, but there's literally no sugar in it. It has about 200 milligrams of caffeine. And that's the only thing I wish I could find that has a little bit less in the caffeine, only because, we're already drinking enough coffee throughout the day. But it does have one of the lower caffeines and it's green tea caffeine. So,
Okay.
but for nutritional and supplement line, it's something I'm looking at incorporating into my program, whether it's branded by me, because I'm a real big fan of MCT oils.
Level. Yes.
It also helps with those food cravings, but it's something you don't want to sit there and just do all the time. So, but you just want to have your tablespoon in the morning. I used to put mine in my coffee along with some collagen, and that was my breakfast.
Yep.
Collagen is your meal replacement. So,
Yeah, that's what I typically do. I don't do, for some reason, I did a 3-day fast. Okay. Here a while back, about 2 months ago, I did this 3-day fast. Part of it was no coffee. So I thought, okay, no coffee. And I just haven't gone back to drink coffee. I haven't had a cup of coffee in over 2 months. But I do, the curing thing. If I just take the pouch out and do hot water.
Yep.
With my MCT oil and a tablespoon of Kerrygold butter. And I make some bulletproof coffee in the morning and rock and roll. And I mean, I am satiated. I get up at 5:15. I'm in the gym by 6. I'm home by 7. And I'll either do that before my workout or after, whenever I feel like it. Tons of water first thing in the morning. And that's kind of my morning routine. And that is very sustaining for me. The cognitive function's really on point. I really don't get hungry till about noon, 1 o'clock. So technically I've kind of done an intermittent fasting experience as well. What are your thoughts on the intermittent fasting? So I'm going about about 12. I'm going about 15 hours, maybe 16, between 15 and 16 hours on the intermittent fast for me. So I'm curious your take on intermittent fasting.
So for me with intermittent fasting, when I was first started my journey, I was like, there's no way I can not eat and be as active as I am. I'll crash throughout the day, right? And that is not me. As much as I wanted to try it and everything, I was like, I was treating for my 50K at the time. And I was just like, yeah, this isn't for me right now, right? A couple of years down the road, I actually did it. I was down to, so for males, in my eyes, if you're an active male, and what I mean by active, if you're, training for the marathon, you're out there pushing the iron for, that next bodybuilding competition, right? And you want to lean out your muscle and get rid of some of that fat, you should be somewhere around 12 hours at the max for intermittent fasting. If you're a female, right around 18.
Okay.
There's people that I know that intermittent fast, and when I say they do to the extreme, but they're not as active, they're basically having one meal a day, and that meal is somewhere around 3-4 o'clock.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they do coffee and stuff like that in the morning, right? But yeah, that's what they do. So
Just to let you know, I take an MCT with coconut oil only because of my head injury. And
yes, absolutely.
So, and of course the other supplements, but I end up having to take it twice a day because for what I want it to do and how I want it to work, it only goes a 12-hour stretch. So I take it in the morning and then I take it in the evening as well. So that's what keeps my brain firing and not turning off at times like it has in the past. So, but there's other jobs for the MCT oil out there, just besides, working with that.
Sure.
So, and I've turned
Absolutely.
down to a lot of people that have had brain injuries or even that are early stages of dementia and other head problems. So,
But I would like to reiterate and touch upon something Robert already said, that tablespoon.
yeah.
When I first started doing bulletproof coffee, I got a little overzealous with that MCT oil.
Yeah.
I was doing a couple of tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Maybe I just take the bottle and squirt for a little while. But, that's enough. And if you want to have a loose bowel experience,
That's true.
just slurp down a little too much MCT oil.
Right. Exactly. So,
Yeah, but there's another story, right?
right.
We all got to learn somehow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. Fat wealth is fast. Wasn't hard at all. It was just fast.
Yeah. And it had a hold of you. So,
Yes. And it took 2 days to clear out.
So anyway,
So
Rob,
I can do an easy tablespoon every day, tablespoon of Kerrygold, nice dissolved, top it off with a little bit of more water, sip, swish. It's very satisfying. I just love it in the mornings.
so
I
yeah.
used to do all of that stuff too.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're actually doing something with the education that you've got and that you
Yes.
actually you've got a path to follow.
Yep.
Be there to support you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm very happy for you as well, Robert. When we
Thank
come together like this and collaborate, get ideas, we all need each other, and each of us needs all of us, so to speak.
Yep.
And so, anything that we can do to encourage or answer questions or provide more resources. I mean, that's what this type of get together is about, not just to let viewers and the people listening on the podcast know that there's, yet another resource, a proven resource out there from your own experience that they can plug into. But, that we're collaborating on this. It's about really positioning people to thrive. And the byproduct of doing that with lots of people is that we thrive also.
Yep.
The ways that we were meant to. So could you say the website again, please? So we catch that for sure.
So it's travelfitnesswellness.com.
All spelled out.
All spelled out. Yep.
Perfect. Do you have like an Instagram or a Twitter, LinkedIn account that you're real active on or have some resources on?
I'm real active on Instagram.
Okay.
Travel Fitness Wellness. Got the Facebook page, Travel Fitness Wellness. If you go to my website, you can actually, one of the first things that pops up is to sign up for my blog. There's a blog that goes out every single week on different subjects. So
Okay.
today's subject, it was actually today. So today's subject was, what is the standard American diet versus the European diet? So we're talking like fresh food versus processed foods.
Right. Yeah. We have foods in this country that are actually illegal in 30 other countries.
Yes.
We would not be serving to people here. So, and I don't think people realize that, and helping them connect dots with the importance of those choices. And it's all about optimum performance, is about the optimum nutrition from a diet. That's where it has to start. It has to start there. And so I think you've got a lot of good resources and a lot of good things to share.
So it's not just foods that you can't sell in other countries. It's alcohol too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
There's a certain ingredients in those, and it could be just red dye number, whatever it is.
Yeah. Red dye number 5. And the other thing you mentioned, it kind of reminds me too, is that we're only one of 2 countries that allow direct to consumer marketing of pharmaceuticals on our televisions and on all these feeds. So between us and the United Kingdom. So, and we got 360 million people in this country. And so who are they selling all the pharmaceuticals to? I wonder.
And that's
no emphasis.
That's
Hey,
only
Robert,
been
I
in
work-
our lifetime that they've been able to do that.
That's right. Yeah, well, in our lifetime, Robert wasn't around for this, but you and I watched him take cigarette commercials off TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember the Marlboro Man?
Yep.
You know, he's
Who
asking
died
you
of
to come to
cancer.
where he's asking you to come to where the flavor is, and he's surrounded by 3,000 head of cows. I wonder what kind of flavor was out there. But
Yeah.
anyways, the yeah. So you're comment about the pharmaceuticals and things like that, and the chemicals that they find in food, used kind of tongue in cheek to call it food. I wanted to get your take real quick, Robert, before we get ready to kind of wrap things up. But give Bob and I your take on the most recent food pyramid. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that.
Well, you're going to want to look into that because apparently, Cheerios has more quality protein than lean meats.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, in your morning, it's okay to have a latte, and it's okay to get your carbs from, what was it? The breakfast cereals are so much better for you nutritionally than quality meats and oils and things of that nature. So, yeah, it's the food pyramid went from bad to horrendous this last go around.
Plus the cereal producers now want you to have a fourth meal before you go to bed, and it's called a bowl cereal and milk.
Yeah.
They want you to have that fourth meal.
Yeah.
Well, what that tells me is the major food industry of processed foods, and I won't name any names, has some pretty good lobbyists in the government right now. And our ranchers have lost their lobbyists because of global warming.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because everybody's afraid of the methane gas that comes out on the back end of a cow. And there's not enough methane gas to do anything for global warming.
No.
I wonder who was tasked with the responsibility of measuring.
And what they use.
Yeah. We have a methane meter gauge here that we're just going to portable and slap it on there and see what happens.
So let me go back to France in about the 1700s. It may have been the 1800s. There was a gentleman that was a scientist that actually took that and burned it in his lab to see how much of that was actually burned in energy.
Okay.
And how much
find out
that we kept in our systems
to
actually, and that's how they come up with all the calories and everything nowadays is from that experiment.
Okay.
But we know calories aren't that important as far as the nutrition factor.
Yeah.
Nutrition factor, yes. Will he keep you filled up throughout the rest of the day? No.
Right.
Those higher fats. It sounds funny, guys, but I know you need the higher fats to keep you filled throughout the day so you're not snacking as much.
Yep.
And you need protein. You need meat protein.
Yep. You need that meat protein.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, Robert, I'm going to make sure and get this out to the world as best I can. I know Bob will do the same. And any last comments or like one of your favorite things to share with the viewers or the people listening on the podcast, a little pearl of wisdom as they are looking for someone like you and want to start this kind of journey?
So the biggest thing I can tell somebody if they're looking for, like whether it's a gym or something like that, make sure you can do it on your time. And I got a bunch of PDFs that I have developed and I am in the process of developing. It just takes a while to make them edible. So, but then we also have those custom created programs out there, and my days work around the client. So it's whatever is convenient for them. We can work together on those type of endeavors.
That's awesome.
Sounds good.
That's-
So,
All
anyway,
right. Well, thank you.
so
Thank you.
we'll be back next
Yes.
week with
Yeah.
the best kept secrets and supplements, Dan and I anyway, and we will discuss another topic. So until
Yep.
then, be safe and be healthy. Bye. Bye-bye.
We got it.